Wish you a very good morning to all. So, we are in chapter 4, structure of the atom. As we have discussed most of the topics in this chapter, the discovery of the electrons by Sir J.J. Thomson model, discovery of the proton by Goldstein model, in that the schematic diagram of cathode ray tube and the production of anode ray, and the structure of the atom. We have discussed the two important structure of the atom, that is a Bohr's model of an atom and Rutherford model of an atom. Then we discuss about the discovery of the neutron. Even we discuss about the atomic number, mass number, electronic configurations. That is very important and very much crucial for you. So electronic configuration, it is a complete profile of an element. So electron configuration means it is a complete profile of an element, and the electrons are arranged in a different energy levels in their increasing energy, or the arrangement of electrons in the different cells. That also we have seen 1 to 20 elements which are there in your textbook, page number 257. So all 1 to 20 elements, their atomic number, mass number, valence is also mentioned, and their electron configuration also given. So in our sum of the video, I inform you to draw atomic structures of the first 20 elements which are there in your textbook. So from that the many questions will be asked in your coming exam. So that for that also you have to be ready. Then we discuss about the valencies. So valency, the combining capacity of an element, that is called as a valency. That also we have discussed. And how the valence electrons are transferred from one cell to the another cell, that also we have discussed. So most of the topics we have completed in this chapter. So now I would like to go for the NCERT exercise questions that are very crucial for your exam. So we'll begin with NCERT solution. So all my dear students, we are in chapter 4, structure of the atom, and we will discuss all the NCERT important questions which are there in your chemistry today also, and it is there in the NCERT textbook also. So here first question is, what are canal rays? So here canal rays are positively charged radiations. These rays consist of positively charged particles known as protons. So canal rays considered to be a proton, and they were discovered by Goldstein in 1886. So this can be asked in 2 marks in your evaluation 2 also. So here these questions are very important, very crucial. So you have to prepare it. Question number 2. If an atom contains 1 electron and 1 proton, will it carry any charge or not? So here simply we can reply the answer, we can give the answer. An electron is a negatively charged particle, whereas proton is a positively charged particle. The magnitude of their charges is equal. Therefore, an electron containing the atom containing 1 electron and 1 proton will not carry any charge. Thus, it will be a neutral atom, because both are equal, electron as well as proton in an atom. So that is why there will not be any possibility to charge any electron or proton. So that is why it become a neutral atom. Question number 1 on particular pages it's given in the NCERT. On the basis of Thomson's model of an atom, explain how the atom is neutral as a whole. According to the J.J. Thomson's model of an atom consists of both negatively charged and the positively charged particles. The negatively charged particles are embedded in the positively charged sphere. These negatively and positively charged are equal in magnitude. Thus, by counterbalancing each other's effect, they make an atom neutral. So that is why positive charge and negative, both charges are there at the center and they become neutral. Next question. On the basis of Rutherford model of an atom, which subatomic particle is present in the nucleus of an atom? On the basis of the Rutherford model of an atom, the protons that are positively charged particles are present in the nucleus of an atom. Even neutral charge particles present that are neutrons, that also you can include. In nucleus, proton and neutrons are there. Now draw a sketch of Bohr's model of an atom with 3 cells. It can be asked in 3 marks. So here you have to mention the center, that is nucleus, positively charged nucleus, then K cell, L cell, M cell and N cell. So K, L, M, N and the sphere 1, 2, 3, 4 that we have to draw, and this can be asked in 3 marks. Question number 4. What do you think would be the observation if the alpha particle scattering experiment is carried out using a foil of a metal other than gold? If alpha particle scattering experiment is carried out using a foil of metal rather than gold, there would be no charge in the observation. In the alpha scattering experiment, a gold foil was taken because the gold is malleable and a thin foil of gold can be easily made, and it is difficult to make such foil from other metals. So that is the reason we are using gold foil in this alpha particle scattering experiment. Question. Name 3 subatomic particles of an atom. The 3 subatomic particles of an atom are positively charged protons, negatively charged electrons and neutral charged neutrons. So proton, electrons and neutrons are the 3 subatomic particles of an atom. Next question. Helium atom has an atomic mass of 4 unit and 2 protons in its nucleus. How many neutrons does it have? So helium atom has 2 neutrons. The mass of an atom is the sum of the mass of protons and the neutrons present in its nucleus. Since the helium has 2 protons, mass contribution of the 2 proton is 2 into 1 means 2 unit. Then the remaining mass 4 minus 2 unit, that will be 2 unit contributed by 2 unit and divided by 1 unit means 2 neutrons. So it has 2 protons and 2 neutrons in its center. Question number next. Write the distribution of electrons in carbon and sodium atoms. So here the total number of electrons in carbon atom is 6. The distribution of electrons in the carbon atom is given by first orbit, the maximum 2 electrons can be accommodated. In second orbit means L cell, 4 electrons can be accommodated. So we can write the distribution of electrons in the carbon atom, that is 2, 4. 2, 4 means K cell 2 electrons and L cell 4 electrons. And the number of electrons in sodium is 11. So distribution of the electrons in the sodium atom is first orbit 2 electrons, second orbit K cell means 8 electron, that is octet, means then the remaining electron must transfer to the next cell. Third orbit M cell means 1 electron. So we can write the electron distribution in a sodium atom, that is 2, 8, 1. Next question. if K and L cell of an atom are full, then what would be the total number of electrons in the atom? The maximum number of electrons that can occupy K and L cell of an atom are 2 and 8 respectively, because 2 in the K cell and L cell 8. Therefore, if K and L cell of an atom are full, then the total number of electrons in the atom would be 2 plus 8 means 10 electrons. So neon, that is the element which has 10 electrons, 2, 8, that we consider as a inert gas. Next question, how will you find the valency of chlorine, sulfur and magnesium? If the number of electrons in the outermost cell of the atom of an element is less than or equal to 4, then the valency of the element is equal to the number of electrons in the outermost cell. So valency maximum 4 would be there, because it has to gain or lose the electrons. On the other hand, if the number of electrons in the outermost cell of an atom is greater than 4, then the valency of that element is determined by subtracting the number of electrons in the outermost cell from 8. If it is more than 4, means that electron will be sharing, means they are preferred to lose that particular electrons. Next, the distribution of electrons in chlorine, sulfur and magnesium atoms are 287, chlorine, sulfur is 286 and magnesium 282. Therefore, the number of electrons in the outermost cell of chlorine, sulfur and magnesium atoms are 7, 6 and 2. So the valency of the chlorine, 8 minus 7, that is 1. So 1 valency of chlorine, so that is minus 1. Valency of sulfur, 8 minus 6, that is 2. Sulfur minus 2. And the valency of magnesium 2, that is fixed, so it is plus 2. So like this we are able to find the valency of chlorine, sulfur and magnesium. Next question, if the number of electrons in an atom is 8 and the number of proton is also 8, then what is the atomic number of the atom and what is the charge of on the atom? First, if the atomic number of an atom, the atomic number is equal to the number of protons. Therefore, the atomic number of the atom is 8, because atomic number indicate the number of protons. Since the number of both electrons and protons is equal, therefore the charge on the atom is 0. Now here, with the help of table that we are supposed to find out the mass number of oxygen and sulfur atom, directly we can take this question, find out the mass number of oxygen and sulfur atom. So mass number of oxygen, the mass number can be defined the number of proton plus number of neutrons. So 8 plus 8 means 16. So the mass number of oxygen is 16. Then mass number of sulfur, number of protons plus number of neutrons, that is 16 plus 16. Sulfur atomic number is 16. So mass number is double, so it is 32. Question number next. For the symbol H, D and T, tabulate 3 subatomic particles found each of them. So here H, proton, neutron, electron, D, proton, neutron and electron. So in that hydrogen, suppose hydrogen, proton 1, neutrons are not there, electron is 1, and D, proton 1, neutron 1 and electron 1. Next question. Write the electronic configuration of any pair of isotopes or isobars. Very much crucial and important question. Two isotopes of carbon are C612 and C614. So therefore the electron configuration of C612 is 2,4 and electron configuration of 614 is 2,4. Isotopes have the same electronic configuration, so that also we have to keep it in our mind. Isotopes have same electronic configuration. And another isobar we can take. These are the isotopes: carbon 612, 614, and isobars calcium 2940 and argon 1840. So mass number is different, that is isobars. So electronic configuration of calcium 2940, that is 2882. Then electronic configuration of argon, that is 288. So isobars have different electronic configuration. So one thing you have to remember, isotopes have same electronic configuration, whereas isobars have different electronic configuration. So up to here we will discuss. Remaining question answers we will discuss in our next video presentation. Up to here, these are the questions we are discussing. So remaining, there are NCERT questions we will discuss in our next video. Thank you and have a nice day.